Welcome to the Steve Wilmot Show with the Chamonix Redskins head coach Steve Wilmot. I'm Sean Lerman. This week's show brought to you by Aria Health and Faulkner Buick GMC Cadillac as we roll along in the playoffs to Chamonix with the win over Penridge in round one last week. Coming up this week, it'll be Garnet Valley at 6:45. We'll go live on WBCB 1490 AM and WBCB1490.com with the Trentonian pregame show. To have all the action, you can also watch the game live at Sandy's Beef and Ale on the big screen TV. So, Coach, we talked about it. We knew Penridge, although they were a 15, they were one of the strongest 15 seeds that we've seen in the tournament in recent years, and it was a close game all the way through. What were your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, I think Penridge has some really terrific individual players. They were playing with emotion. One of the players from the season before died during the course of last week, and they went to his funeral in the morning. It was a tough draw. Again, they have some really good players on that team.
Yeah, and I think that as the game went on, you guys started to really get things going a little bit better, and part of the reason for that, Ole Manzik, an incredible game. I mean, that one catch down the sideline where he reached around the defender for it, absolutely outstanding. What a game by Ole.
Yeah, I mean, that pretty much says everything. Yes, he's a very talented kid. I've been saying this all along. You talk about Mason and Zach's chemistry. I think Mason and Ole are having a little bit of chemistry. Basically what it comes down to is when Mason sees Ole one-on-one with a corner, he's gonna try to challenge him, and we dropped a few balls out there. Ole dropped 2 or 3 balls he should have probably caught, but he caught some off the big ones too.
Yeah, I think people, when they look back, they won't remember the couple of drops. They'll remember those great catches though, and we seen the game last week. Zach Treadway wasn't able to play every snap last week. Did get out there a little bit, and certainly I think made an impact even on plays where he didn't catch the ball. He's still someone that Penridge had to keep an eye on.
Yeah, I mean, Zach has a bruise on his shin. It's painful for him to run around, but that bruise is just going to keep getting better and better, and pretty soon we're going to have the same old Zach back.
Now on the other side of the ball defensively, how do you feel like the team did against Penridge? They switched things up a little bit. Maybe you guys were ready for it, but I was surprised to see Oliver Jervis in at quarterback for them. He'd thrown 6 passes all year and played almost the entire game at quarterback.
Another tall kid out there. I don't know what they put in the water up there in Percy, but yeah, all week we kind of prepared to chase down number 16 Jagger Hartshorn. We did have some recon saying that this might happen, so it's not, it wasn't totally, but we just have to prepare for their offense. They're not going to change their offense drastically in 1 week, and they ran definitely the same style offense, and I think our defense played very well. There was one missed tackle in the secondary where the guy got away from us, and that was a long play. That's really kind of the only play I'm really unhappy with as far as our defense goes. I think they battled really hard all night.
Yeah, and I definitely, I'm glad that you guys had some recon on it, because I saw, who is this? I'm looking at the stats, 0 for 6 passing on the season, hadn't played much, but I thought he played pretty well for a quarterback that hadn't been in there.
Yeah, I think he did too. Who knows what's buried in that 0 for 6 stats.
Right. That's such a small sample.
Yeah. He made passes, and he did a nice job of running their offense, and they put the Hartshorn kid kind of at their flanker spot, running speed sweeps, and I think we did a nice job of stopping the speed sweeps. We worked really hard on that all week, and all the hard work really paid off, because I can't really think of any in the back of my mind that went for significant yardage.
Certainly one of the toughest games of the season, but it was an outstanding game, a fun one to watch, and Chamonix got the win last Friday. When we come back, we'll talk about this Friday's matchup with Garnet Valley in round 2 of the playoffs. Again, you can watch that game live at WBCB1490.com, 7 o'clock on Friday night. We will be right back.
Sandy's Beef and Ale has been serving famous hand-carved roast beef sandwiches since 1967. Sandy's Beef and Ale is located in the Woodburn Square Shopping Center next to the Oxford Valley Mall. Stop in anytime for not only the roast beef sandwiches, but also the patty, the tailgater, and the Cuban. Family and friends have been coming to Sandy's Beef and Ale since 1967. 2028 Old Lincoln Highway, the home of the hand-carved sandwich.
If you are looking for a new car, where do you go? Faulkner Auto Group at 4427 Street Road in Trevose is where to go. For the best deals in Bucks County for all of your new or pre-owned cars, trucks, or SUVs, go to Faulkner Auto Group. It is always Faulkner to be sure. You can also always go to www.faulknerautogroup.com. Just remember, this year it's Faulkner Auto Group for your new car or truck. 4427 Street Road in Trevose to be sure. Faulkner Auto Group, 215-364-7720. Faulkner Auto Group, a proud supporter of Neshaminy High School football.
ER Express is the newest online reservation system for patients in Bucks County with non-life-threatening illnesses or conditions to reserve a time online to be treated at ARIA's Fast Care, Urgent Care, or emergency departments. ER Express streamlines evaluations so patients are treated more quickly, and best of all, it holds your reservation while you're in the comfort of your own home. Please remember, patients who experience major injuries and traumas should always go immediately to the emergency department. Reserve your spot online now with ER Express. Visit ariahealth.org/ER-Express. That's ariahealth.org/ER-Express.
Welcome back to the Steve Wilmot Show with Neshaminy Redskins head coach Steve Wilmot. I'm Sean Lerman. This show is brought to you by Aria Health and Faulkner Buick GMC Cadillac. The Redskins getting set for a 7 o'clock matchup on Friday night in round 2 of the District 1 playoffs against Garnet Valley, a team that went 9-2 so far this season. They've won 5 games in a row. Neshaminy, though, has won the season in a row, so should be a good one on Friday night. So, Coach, Garnet Valley, I was looking at some of their information, and they're a team that likes to run the ball.
Yep, they're a conventional, kind of, not to take away from Pennsbury, but kind of a ground and pound, different style. They run the kind of a split back veer offense. Sometimes they have 2 tight ends. Sometimes they have 2 flankers split to both sides. Sometimes both flankers are on one side. They, unlike a lot of the option offenses that we've seen, Bensound, they only run with 2 backs in the backfield, and then they kind of put, like I said, bring in the tight ends or the wide receivers. But again, anytime you play option, it's a challenge, and it's assignments, and it's switching up looks to kind of give them a couple different things to block and worry about blocking, and it's just going to come down to good hard-nosed football and defense.
As you mentioned, they have 2 backs in the backfield, and one of whom gets the ball more than just about anyone else on the team. But they do have about 5 guys on the team who've rushed for 330-plus yards on the season. So how do you prepare when you know that a number of different people may be getting the ball?
It's more about the scheme than the people, I think, this week. It's just about, doing your assignment, against this formation. This is your job. Go ahead and do it, 1,000%. It's not really about people. It's just kind of about just doing your job, really.
Now, they have thrown the ball a little bit this year. They're averaging maybe 35 to 40 passing yards per game, so not a ton. But when they do drop back to pass, what do they usually like to do?
They have a tall wide receiver. They just have kind of like a base passing game, and all they want to do is kind of suck you up, get you thinking run, and then get behind you. So they have some one-step go routes, and they have some combination routes on the outside, and they just want to lull you to sleep, basically.
When I was looking at the defensive stats as we moved to that side of the ball for Garnet Valley, they have a player, they don't know the positions on the stat page, but Srivnak is his last name. He's got 9 sacks on the season. I'm sure he's been a focus of the offensive game planning.
He's good. He's good, and he had a really good game against Central Bucks South last game, but we have a few other games that we watched, and he's a nose guard, and they do some things with him, and we have an eye on him. You know, like during the course of the week, we put a jersey on a kid, and you know, again, we got eyes on him. We're not going to let him. Well, he's a good player. Maybe he will, but we're going to try not to let him disrupt things too much on the offense. He's good. You know, the Garnet Valley defense. Yeah, they're tough. They're a base 4-4 defense, and then they do some things. You know, if we're running the ball a lot, they'll kind of shift things over, and they kind of give you like a 50 type of look. And with that kid who's number 57, your guy, I just kind of go by numbers sometimes. Sometimes they put him at linebacker and blitz him. So, you know, they don't sit in a defense. No really good team kind of sits in the same defense. You know, every single down. Yeah, they move around a little bit, and they got two really big linebackers in the middle. And I think they're returners from last year's team. You know, so it's going to be a challenge. We just got to go out there and just try to, you know, establish a running game, and hopefully, you know, Mason can kind of connect on some passes.
So sticking with sort of the, you know, they're strong up the middle. That seems to be what you're saying. How are they on the outsides of the defense, maybe at the cornerback positions?
Not bad. We did scrimmage them earlier in the year. And again, they didn't have any scouting report on us, as you know, we just kind of changed our offense a little bit, and you know, they're not bad. You know, obviously they're in the second round of the playoffs. You know, they won 8 games during the course of the regular season. Yeah, I mean, they're not bad. You know, we just want to go out there and just play well. That's kind of what we want to do all year. That's all we've really done is just kind of focused on Neshaminy. And, you know, even last week with Penridge, we knew they were going to have a lot of stuff going on, but basically it comes down to how we execute. And at times in the first half last week that didn't go so well, but you know, we came around in the second half.
All right, Neshaminy and Garnet Valley, Friday, 7 o'clock. Really looking forward to this one. Should be a really fun game. You can watch it at WVCV1490.com. Listen on 1490 AM. We go live at 6:45 with the Trentonian pregame show. This has been the Steve Wilmot Show, brought to you by Aria Health and Faulkner Buick GMC Cadillac. With Neshaminy Redskins head coach Steve Wilmot, I'm Sean Lerman. We'll see you Friday night.